السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين. أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره. اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن رحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. First, I should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the tawfiq and blessing of meeting again. Alhamdulillah, we had very good time in March, and now this is the second time this year. And I would like to also request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the first program that we have to help us in these days and nights, inshallah, to achieve the most. And what we want to achieve is, inshallah, closer relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with other believers, and a better understanding of our faith, a better understanding of our situation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what we as a group, as a community can do, inshallah, together to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah, inshallah, to help us with all that and beyond, inshallah. For our reflections in the morning, I thought to reflect on this beautiful hadith from Amiralmؤمنين السلام. And inshallah, you would see there are different reasons why this would be very relevant to KLC. According to some editions of Nahj al-Balagha, this is wise saying 147. Maybe some editions are a little bit more or less, but it's around that. The person who narrates this is Kumayl ibn Ziyad An-Nakha'i, who is also the same person who has narrated Dua Kumayl. Also, he has narrated a hadith which is known as Hadith al-Haqiqah, about the truth from Amiralmؤمنين. And in that hadith, there is a sentence that when he feels that Imam Ali doesn't want to answer his question, he says, "Am I not one of your companions that you trust? Ashab al-Sirrik." So he was an Ashab al-Sir, someone that Amiralmؤمنين was happy to mention the things that he would not say to the public. Even here you see how Imam Ali is feeling pleased with him. So he says, أخذ بيدي أميرالمؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام. Kumayl ibn Ziyad says that Amir took my hand, فأخرجني. He then took me to outside the city of Kufa, and when we reached there, فلما أصحر, تنفس الصعداء, he breathed with a kind of maybe pain and grief. ثم قال, then he said these words. It's interesting that Imam alayhi salam himself decided to talk to Kumayl. There is no mention that I asked him a question, I said, please tell me something. Imam wanted to speak to him. So whenever there is need and it's the right time, Imam alayhi salam himself or the Prophet, they would themselves decide to share, because their role is like a teacher to find suitable people and suitable moments for teaching. When we ask questions, of course, it gives them a signal that it can be a good moment, but sometimes not necessarily, because there are people who ask questions but just as a habit, or they enjoy asking questions. It can be a sign of being prepared, but not always. The main thing is that they should see you are prepared. Sometimes with your silence they realize that you are prepared. Sometimes with your asking questions, though it's not always the same way. So Imam alayhi salam had something to share with Kumayl, so he himself took the hand of Kumayl. And what is interesting for me is that not only Imam initiated this conversation, but also took his hand. He didn't say, follow me, or listen to me. The act of taking and holding the hand of Kumayl shows intimacy, love, like two friends. Sometimes two friends, you feel you cannot express your feeling towards your friend unless you physically touch, you hug, or you hold the hand. So Imam took the hand of Kumayl, but Imam didn't talk to Kumayl right away. He took him outside the city. When we read, we don't find this is something that could be problematic. For example, there was an intelligence here, information that if Muawiyah had heard could have created problem. It's not a political secret or, I don't know, intelligence here. But maybe Imam was worried about people, ordinary people, who are not deep in their understanding. They could be confused, or they could be misunderstanding and attacking, or perhaps this is the reason, not something, political. And this shows that a movement should be very careful about not only what to say. What to say is one aspect, but whom to say, where to say, and when to say, and how to say, and how much to say. So all of these are important. To whom, what, how much, when, and where. You have to be very selective. So Imam thought he should take him outside the city, not even to a corner in his home or masjid, or for example, a place that no one is seeing them. taking him outside the city, so that absolutely there is no one else. And perhaps this by itself was also a matter of preparation, because it might have taken, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour to go out. So all this time, Kumayl must be thinking what Imam is going to tell me, and this would create, eagerness more. So this was also maybe the reason, or part of the reason. And then he says, Imam alayhi salam, tanaffasa su'ada. It seems that Amiralmؤمنين had lots of pain and lots of, grief, but he was not able even to release his problems to people like Kumayl inside the city. So he was waiting to go out. When you are in nature, and it's only you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that's a very good time for talking freely. ثم قال يا كميل ibn Ziyad, O Kumayl, the son of Ziyad, إن هذه القلوب أوعية فخيرها أوعاها. O Kumayl, these hearts are truly containers. Wa'a means container. Aw'iya is the plural. So our hearts are containers. Means that they have capacity to contain. What is the best thing for a container? The best thing for a container is to be able to contain whatever you decide to put and protect. I think every container we need two things. One is that when we want to put something, it would contain. It will not say, I don't want to contain this, it's too much for me, or it's too heavy for me. No, the container should keep, but also not only just to take, to preserve. There is no point in a container that you put things inside, but then they disappear. Yeah, so a container should be large in capacity, but also safe. Only you can get what is put, or the people that you trust. Okay? So Amiralmؤمنين said, these hearts, إن هذه القلوب, means my heart, your heart, other people's hearts, are aw'iyah. And maybe Imam uses هذه, these, because heart is very important and near in the sense of importance. So these hearts are containers. فَخَيْرُهَا أَوْعَاهَا. The best of them are those who are able to contain more or better. Because aw'a means they can do more wa'i. And that means to contain more or to contain better. So either in quantity or quality, or both actually. They can contain more. Nowadays in Arabic, we use wa'i for awareness. Yeah? Wa'i. Al-wa'i al-Islami, for example. Islamic awareness. But it comes from the same root, to contain. Because when you understand something, you contain it. So, just the first sentence, which is the preparation, because Imam after that says, فَأَخْرَجْنِي مَا أَقُولُ لَكَ. The conversation starts afterwards, but this preparation is very important. إِنَّ هَذِهِ الْقُلُوبِ أَوْعِيَةٌ فَخَيْرُهَا أَوْعَاهَا. So this shows that heart is not coming always with the same value. It's not that everyone's heart has the same value. Although we are all human beings, we all have fitrah, yeah? We all have aql. But because of the difference that we have in hearts, we can be different. Some people have better chance of containing and preserving ideas, knowledge, insights, wisdom. Then the heart has more value. But it's not something that you cannot improve. It's very interesting. You can improve. You can actually increase your capacity. Something that, inshallah, I want to discuss with you, but after you think about it, is how can we measure capacity of a heart? So if you think about it, inshallah, tomorrow we can discuss this. What are the signs that one heart is large in capacity? If we know, then we can work for achieving that. I am sure you quickly say knowledge. But what is knowledge? Not every knowledge necessarily is a sign of having a large heart. There are people who know many, many things, but their heart is very small. So it's not necessarily knowledge or any kind of knowledge. It's maybe special knowledge, but there are other things as well. So please think about it till tomorrow, and I will ask you about this, and then I will, inshallah, mention what I think. So, فَاحْفَظْ عَنِّي مَا أَقُولُ لَكَ. Please save anni, from me, what I tell you. So you realize that one reason why Imam mentioned that hearts are like containers and the best of them are those who have more and better capacity is that Imam wanted to ask Kumayl to preserve this. فَاحْفَظْ عَنِّي مَا أَقُولُ لَكَ. Save this. But in Islamic tradition and in mystical tradition in general, to save has two dimensions. To save means not to let it be forgotten. So you have to find people or ways to register this so that it remains. When your teacher, your master, your Imam teaches you a piece of ma'rifah, one responsibility is to preserve it. This should not disappear, because in the lust for humanity, if the person who has connection with Allah like Imam, if he tells you something and you don't keep it, it's a loss. So you have to preserve it. You have to remember it, but also you have to find suitable people to pass on. But another aspect of saving it is not to publicize it. Because if you publicize it, then people who are not suitable would get access to it and may misuse it or misunderstand it. There are people who look for things to attack, and there are people who maybe they are honest, but they don't understand, as we will see inshallah. There are people who don't understand, they can be deceived because of their own limit by these things. So it's like, for example, if I ask you, please look after my child. You don't let my child get lost, but also you don't let my child to sleep in every home with everyone or on the street. So to save means not to let it be missed and lost, but also not to make it available for everyone. فَاحْفَظْ عَنِّي مَا أَقُولُ لَكَ. So please save on my behalf, for my sake, what I'm telling you. So you have responsibility now to فَاحْفَظْ عَنِّي, what I'm telling you. الناس ثلاثة. People are three groups. الناس. فعالم رباني ومتعلم على سبيل النجاة وهمج رعاء أتباع كل ناعق يميلون مع كل ريح لم يستضيئوا بنور العلم ولم يلجأوا إلى ركن وثيق. People are one of the three, means they belong to three categories, three groups. First, Alimun Rabbani, a knowledgeable person. It can be, it's singular, but it can be more than one, but certainly these are not very common. Alimun Rabbani, a kind of godly alim, knowledgeable person, a scholar, who is not just knowledgeable, he is knowledgeable, but it is connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a Rabbani, is godly. Second group, learners, متعلم على سبيل النجاة, who are on the path of salvation. Naja yanju, najatan means to be saved. So naja means salvation, to be saved. So these are seekers of knowledge, but not seekers of knowledge to get a degree or job or whatever, which is not a problem, but this is more than that. They are seekers of knowledge for salvation. Means they want to learn what can save them. They want to learn how to be servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, better people. The third group are the people that are hamajun ra'a. These are the people who are not understanding and are not principled, not have any basis. They are baseless, unintelligent and non-understanding people. أتباع كل ناعق. They follow any cry. Any person makes a cry, makes a claim, declares something, they go after. You know, imagine you are in a very dark place and you don't know where to go. You are looking for a way out. So if you are desperate and you have no knowledge, no understanding, no map, no guide, no torch, then you may reach the point that anyone who says, you know, come here, you go, which can create problem for you because you don't know these people. Just someone says, you know, come here, you go. Then another person says, come here, you go. This is the situation of people who have no understanding and they end up with following everyone. Everyone maybe who has more attractive appearance, everyone maybe who has louder voice, everyone maybe who has more engaging way of presenting their ideas, people follow. Not because they have understood that these people are right, their idea is correct. No. Just because they don't have any information, any understanding, they are desperate, so they go after every call. Atba'u kulli na'iq, they are followers of every call, every cry. Yamiluna ma'a kulli rih, they go with every wind. If wind comes from the east, they go by it to the west. If it comes from the west, they go by it to the east, north, south. They are just waiting for someone to push them. They want us to go by the current, the wind. لَمْ يَسْتَضِيئُوا بِنُورِ الْعِلْمِ, they have not acquired the light of knowledge. They are in a dark situation. They have nothing to hold as knowledge. وَلَمْ يَلْجَأُوا إِلَىٰ رُكْنٍ وَثِيقٍ, and they have not found refuge in a firm pillar. If you are like you know, little, I don't know, leaf or a straw, wind comes and takes you. But if you are a leaf connected to a tree, if you are connected to something firm, then you will be safe. لَمْ يَسْتَضِيئُوا بِنُورِ الْعِلْمِ, they have not acquired the light of knowledge and they have not found refuge in a firm pillar. Maybe it means again knowledge, maybe it means knowledgeable people, ulama. I think this is very much the situation today. Always this has been true, but it becomes more true or more relevant today, because I think the amount of confusion and, you know, so many options which are there, so many invitations and calls are there, and some of them are more engaging, more equipped with techniques and, you know, arts, and even sometimes they bring you statistics, data, they present themselves as something totally based on science, but you see no truth. If you are a truth-seeking person, you have to be very careful. Then Imam عليه السلام said, Ya Kumayl, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. O Kumayl, Imam mentions his name again. So this is the second time Imam mentions his name. Maybe to make him more alert, maybe to make him feel more closer to Imam. Imam calls him the first was Ya Kumayl ibn Ziyad, but now it's just Ya Kumayl, just with the first name. Al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. Knowledge is better than money. Some people don't believe in this. Some people say money is better than knowledge, because if you have money, then you can get the knowledge. You employ people who have knowledge and work for you, or you commission people to do research for you. But knowledge is not something that can benefit you if it is in other people. Can a dead person say, I don't need life because I can employ people who have life? A dead person cannot benefit from other people's lives. A jahil cannot benefit from the knowledge of other people. Forget superficial knowledge like some statistics or data, or I mean real knowledge, which is light. The knowledge that gives you guidance, gives you orientation. That should be for everyone. Even if your father, your mother, your child, your husband, your wife is the greatest alim, it's not enough. You cannot say, Alhamdulillah, we have someone in home who is knowledgeable. This knowledge is personal. It's like life, because it's the life of the soul. In the same way the life of body is personal, you cannot borrow or lend. This is also something that is not possible to be borrowed or lent. So some people unfortunately don't accept this, but we have people who accept this in theory. They give you lectures on this, they write letters or compositions or books on this, but in reality, how careful we are with our money and how careful we are about opportunities for learning. When we come to money, we are very careful. Even a cent is important. We plan. We work hard. How many people in the world work at least 40 hours per week? Many, many billions of people. Some people work 2 shifts. Some people work day and night unless you force them. Those who work for themselves. Sometimes they have no holidays, no weekend. Those who have shops or things, they work day and night. But if they read a book for a few hours, they get tired. If they go for learning, they feel it's a loss. I could have made so much money in these few hours. And these are sometimes mu'mineen, sometimes believers. In theory they accept, but in practice they don't feel what they know in mind. So why Amiralmؤminin has to say this to Kumayl? Because he is aware of the condition of mu'mineen, that unfortunately they seem not to know this, although they know, but they seem like people who don't know. The Imam mentions some reasons why ilm is better than money. Hopefully this can clarify this misunderstanding, although it's self-evident. No one should be in doubt about knowledge being better than money. Knowledge is more human than money. What makes us human beings is our ability to know. What makes us Khalifatullah is our ability to know. As you know, Allah, when wanted to prove to angels that why Adam is qualified to become Khalifatullah, Allama Adam al-Asma'a kullaha. Everything was based on capacity for learning. So human beings should know better than any other creatures that what makes us a human being, what makes us different from animals is our ability to learn. But unfortunately, we are so much attached to money that Imam has to argue. So he says, one reason is al-ilmu yahrusuka wa anta tahrusul mal. Knowledge protects you, but money is what you have to protect. Haris means guard. Yeah, I remember in one of my, I don't know, was first or second Hajj, one brother who was not speaking Arabic, he said, I don't know why all the guards here are called Haris. He saw this their name. So why they are all called Haris, was surprised, But Haris is not a name. Haris means guard. So Hirasa means to protect. Knowledge protects you. Whether it is physically or spiritually. Most of people who have problems with their health, or I don't know, family problems, social problems, they are put in prison. I mean criminals, because sometimes innocent people are put in prison, but I mean criminals, or people who have failed in business, they cannot pay back the debts. Many of these people, it's because either they didn't have knowledge and experience, or they didn't use it. Or those who are ill, sometimes, if it is not inherited, it's because they didn't know or they didn't observe good diet, good exercise. Many problems that happen is because we don't know, or we don't benefit from our knowledge. You have accident, I don't know, whatever. So knowledge protects you, even in physical sense, but certainly the spiritual, religious matters. But when it comes to money, you have to protect money. You have to always be careful about your money, physically, but also not just physically. Sometimes you protect your money physically, but for example, you see your money is losing value. You have to find a way to invest, so that you don't lose it as value concept. Or for example, thieves can attack. I don't know. There are lots of ways that you may lose money. So this shows that instead of money bringing you comfort and protection, can take away your comfort and ask you to work for it. Your money in a way is employing you to work for it. So if you have, for example, I don't know, $1 million, or a very expensive car or whatever, and you have to protect it, it means that you are unknowingly working for that money. The money has employed you without you knowing, without signing any contract. So you have to work freely for money. And many times this money is also not used by you. Other people are going to use it. So which one is better? Something that protects you, or something that you can only have if you protect it. Something that protects you in dunya and akhirah, or something you have to protect it and would not benefit you necessarily in akhirah, unless you change it, exchange it to something else. Second thing, al-malu tanqusuhu an-nafaqa wal-ilmu yazku 'ala al-infaq. Nafaqa and infaq come from the same root. Nafq is the hole. You know, sometimes mice or rats, they make a hole in the ground, and sometimes what they do, they cover it so you cannot see that's the hole. That's when they want to maybe run away. So it's ready, they just can run away. And nifaq is called nifaq because it's like the hole which is covered. Nifaq comes from the same root. So nafaqa means expenditure or expenses. Can be expenditure or expenses. Infaq means to spend, but normally we use infaq for charity, although infaq literally can be any expenditure, but we mean infaq fi sabilillah. مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء. The example of the people who spend, but fi sabilillah. They spend from their own property, money, fi sabilillah, for the sake of God. Is like the one who plants one seed, it becomes 7 years, and each has 100 seeds, becomes 700. Wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha. Allah will multiply, so it can become 1400, 2100. So, mal tanqusuhu nafaqa. By expenditure becomes less. So if you have any money, you spend part of it, it becomes less. Of course, if you give it for the sake of Allah, you will gain it definitely in akhirah, but even in dunya it may grow. Like zakat, one reason it is called zakat, it's from purity, but another is growth. So inshallah, when you give your money for zakat, for homes, for hajj, the money comes back. But if you just spend it for food, I don't know, furniture, travel, taxes, all these things, rent, bills, it becomes less. But al-ilmu yazku ala al-infaq. But knowledge, when it is shared, when it is given, when it is used, either you use it or you give it to other people, it grows. It's not remaining or becoming less. It's not remaining the same and it's not becoming less. It grows. Everyone who is a teacher has this experience, either as your profession or if you have been teaching your children or in madrasa, whatever, you know, when you teach a subject, you understand it better and you can go to deeper levels of understanding. Sometimes you think you know something, but it is when you teach that you realize there are other aspects to it. Or when you receive questions, it helps you to understand better. And also you memorize better. many things you learn when you teach. Of course, you have to have the requirement for teaching, but you can always grow. Some people, when they don't know a subject, they take a student to teach and then they say we learn. This is not good, because they want to force themselves. You have to have some background, some qualification, but always you can grow. One of the beautiful things we have in Jose's style of learning is that teaching starts very early. So as soon as you learn something, you start teaching. This is very important. So I was not yet in Qom. When I was in Tehran, I was taking some Arabic lessons 3 days a week. After school, we were going to a Sheikh in Tehran and take some lessons. May Allah have mercy upon him. He has passed away a few years ago. So after some time, he had other people who wanted to learn from him, and he was sometimes asking us to teach, because he didn't have enough time, and also maybe he wanted to train us. But more when I went to Qom. So I don't know when exactly, but at least I think from second year of my stay in Qom, I had the students. Maybe sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Till then, I was invited by institutions to teach, but first was just private, 1 person, 2 people. We don't charge, we don't get any money, but we love to teach and we love to learn. So it was after I think 4 years, then I was invited by the schools and houses, to teach. So my experience of study and my experience of teaching is almost the same. It's very important. It's a hundred style. So if you teach, inshallah, you better understand. Of course, I don't say I understood better, but at least this is the style. You understand better, your knowledge will grow. But money is not like this. Another thing is, وَصَنِيعُ الْمَالِ يَزُولُ بِزَوَالِهِ. What is made by money will go away with the money going away. So if you acquire something with money, if you die, you will lose it. Or if your money goes away, you will lose it. There are people who made lots of effort to make a very good house that they like, but then they are not able to pay the mortgage or bills, they have to give it. Or later they face some expenditure that they cannot, they have to sell it. People make farms, sometimes they have inherited, from father, it was for generation the family, they have to sell it. So what you have through money is not guaranteed to remain for you. Sometimes you have to give it. But knowledge, suppose you are forced to teach, even if you don't like, but you are not losing. The knowledge is remaining with you. Then Amiralmؤمنين السلام says, يا كميل بن زياد معرفة العلم دين يدان به. Again, Imam addresses him, but this time again with his, kunya, the name of his father, because Arabs sometimes mention the name of your son or daughter, and sometimes mention the name of your father. معرفة العلم دين يدان به. Knowledge is a kind of religion, a kind of tradition, a kind of path that people would follow, and they would be evaluated or treated based on that. Deen has different meanings in Arabic. Deen sometimes means jaza. Malik yawm ad-din means the day that people are receiving the reward and punishment. This is one meaning of deen. But another meaning of deen is the way of treatment. Kama tadinu tudan. In the same way that you treat and behave, you will be treated. For example, if you treat people with kindness and mercy and love, you will be treated the same by people and by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So knowledge is a way of behaving and a way of treatment, and you will be treated in accordance to your way of treating. So basically it means if you follow the path of knowledge, that can be your lifestyle, and that can be the way you will be also treated. In dunya, in akhirah, among people near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything will be based on this category that you have put yourself into it. This is my last sentence, so I mention this and I finish. يكسب الإنسان الطاعة في حياته وجميل الأحدوثة بعد وفاته. Knowledge gives you obedience in dunya. Means in dunya make you obedient, gives you ability to be muti', obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maybe it can also mean it brings obedience of people to you. Means you would be respected, you would be listened to, you would be obeyed. So either obedience of Allah or obedience of people to you. وَجَمِيلَ الْأُحْدُوثَةِ بَعْدَ وَفَاتِهِ. And when you pass away, you die, people speak beautifully about you. People would praise you. وَالْعِلْمُ حَاكِمٌ وَالْمَالُ مَحْكُومٌ عَلَيْهِ. Knowledge is ruling, is the ruler, is the governor, has the authority. Hakim means ruler, governor, the one who has authority. وَالْمَالُ مَحْكُومٌ عَلَيْهِ. But money is ruled over. Money has no authority. Yes, For people who only think about money, money has authority, unfortunately. And unfortunately, sometimes this comes also to religious circles. For example, we want to choose, I don't know, president for our community. We see who is richer and say, okay, he becomes our president. Is he also more pious? Is he also more capable? Or just because he's richer, we say, okay, so he's a good manager, and we make him our president. This is not the way that religious positions should be, allocated. Or even sometimes centers. People go to the centers who have more money because they have better facilities or give better food or bring more famous speakers or madda or reciters. Is it really good or better, or just because it's richer? Or even it can go to higher things I don't want to mention. But Islam says you should not give extra respect to people just because of their money. You respect everyone. Every mu'min has to be respected, and we are not supposed to have bad opinion about rich people. No, we are not like Marxists. We love every mu'min. Poor or rich, we love them. But we cannot give authority to people just because they are richer, or give religious position because they are richer, listen to them because they are richer, they decide for the community. Maybe all this can fall under this hadith. من تواضع غنيا لغناه فقد ذهب ثلث دينه. If you are humble before a rich person just because he is rich, sometimes he is knowledgeable, sometimes he is experienced, sometimes he is more pious, he is a good man, a good woman, that's okay. But just because he or she is rich, you show more. So there is a mu'min who is not rich, and mu'min, for example, there is a mu'min who is employed and gets little salary every month. There is a mu'min who is billionaire. You cannot respect the billionaire more. Because if you respect the billionaire more, then this gives a direction to the youths. That if you want more respect even inside the community, you have to give priority to money. This is not the teachings of prophets and imams. We should give more respect to the people who have taqwa, or knowledge, or piety, or services. They do more services. So, al-ilmu hakimun wal-malu mahkumun alayh. In reality, the truth is this. Whether people listen to it or not is different. The truth is this, the fact is this, that knowledge is to rule and money is to be ruled over. And therefore the people who have knowledge should be listened to if they follow their knowledge, not just because they know. A true alim, the one who speaks out of knowledge, not the one who speaks his own selfish things but hides it with knowledge. These are two different things. If it's a true alim who only says what he knows, and for the sake of reality and haqiqah and truth, he gets authority from knowledge. But money has no authority, and people who are rich have no authority. They are respected like any other person, but they cannot decide. They don't have authority just because they have money. Okay. Then Amiralmؤمنين says again, Ya Kumayl and he starts something very, very important about ulama and knowledge. Inshallah, we will reflect tomorrow. So, let me read again what we discussed today. This is wise saying 147 of Nahj al-Balagha according to some editions. قال كميل ibn Ziyad. So Kumayl ibn Ziyad says, أخذ بيدي أميرالمؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام فأخرجني إلى الجب فلما أصحر تنفس السعداء. Amiralmؤمنين, the commander of the believers, took my hand, and when he took me outside the Kufa, when we were outside, he had a breath and said, Ya Kumayl ibn Ziyad, inna hadhihi al-qulub aw'iyatun. O Kumayl, the son of Ziyad, truly these hearts are containers. فَخَيْرُهَا أَوْعَاهَا. The best of them are those who are better in containing. فَاحْفَظْ عَنِّي مَا أَقُولُ لَكَ. Preserve for me what I am telling you, or preserve from me what I am telling you. النَّاسُ ثَلَاثَ. People are three groups. فَعَالِمٌ رَبَّانِي وَمُتَعَلِّمٌ عَلَى سَبِيلِ نَجَاةٍ وَحَنَجٌ رَعَى. Godly alim, learners or seekers of knowledge who are on the path of salvation, and people of no understanding and no orientation who follow any call, any cry. They are inclined towards any wind. They have not acquired the light of knowledge and have not seek or have not found refuge in a firm pillar. Ya Kumayl, O Kumayl, al-ilmu khayrun min al-mal. Knowledge is better than money. Al-ilmu yahrusuka wa anta tahrusu al-mal. Knowledge protects you, but you have to protect money. Wal-malu tanqusuhu an-nafaqa wal-ilmu yazku ala al-infaq. Money is reduced by expenditure, but knowledge grows by spending and giving. وَصَنِيعُ الْمَالِ يَزُولُ بِالزَّوَالِ. What is made with money disappears and is demolished with the removal of the money or destruction of money. يَا كُمَيْلَ بْنَ زِيَادٍ مَعْرِفَةُ الْعِلْمِ دِينٌ يُدَانُ بِهِ به يكسب الإنسان الطاعة في حياته وجميل الأحدوثة بعد وفاته. O Kumayl, the son of Ziyad, knowledge or understanding knowledge is a kind of treatment, a kind of lifestyle, a kind of path that you would be also treated based on that. Knowledge will give mankind obedience in their life and beautiful praise after they die. وَالْعِلْمُ حَاكِمٌ وَالْمَالُ مَحْكُومٌ عَلَيْهِ. Knowledge is the ruler, has the authority. Money is ruled and should be under authority. So inshallah, tomorrow we continue, but also think about the question I raised at the beginning. What are the signs of capacity of the heart? Which heart can be considered larger in capacity? What are the signs? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala include us among true seekers of knowledge and give us ability, inshallah, to be with the people who are truly knowledgeable, inshallah. Alhamdulillah.